am so excited for our very first guest because she is a huge reason that I am personally sitting in this chair right now.
Yeah.
Monse, I think, would say the same.
Totally.
Let's welcome in the host of Speak on FS1, one of the best and spiciest voices on TV, one of my dear friends, Joy Taylor.
Yes!
Joy?
Hi, ladies.
Yes.
I've been listening all afternoon. I'm in the salon.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
are.
Watching.
I love you so
I'm
much.
watching the game and listening to the show.
I love you
flex.
so much for this. Oh, you want to know another flex? Joy was at Queen Bee Beyonce last night at SoFi. Before we dive in to football, Joy, just please tell me, was it everything and more I imagine and wish it will be?
Yeah, I mean, it's Beyonce. She's incredible. I will say, like, this show, because I've seen Beyonce a couple of times, not during the sport, but over the years, this show is the most fun show.
Oh.
It's the most, like, dancing show. And obviously that's also a reflection of this particular album. But, yeah it was a great time, and it's a beautiful show. And she's flawless.
Yeah, she is. I've seen her a few times, too. I'm not going to
You
SoFi.
guys, I have not seen Beyonce. She's
No?
at the top of my list. I know.
You gotta go.
I know. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
later. Let's dive in to the NFL because we are 5 days away, Joy. A lot of expectations. Let's start with the four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Are they breaking that 12-year playoff drought this year?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, you have to expect that he's going to make that much of a difference. I mean, they were really, if they had basic, not even average, just basic quarterback play, they would have won a significant amount more games just because the defense kept them in so many games. They just couldn't score, and they just didn't have anyone playing quarterback there. So, I mean, you think about what they were able to accomplish just with Garrett Wilson and with no one throwing him the ball. I guess it's just insane to think about. So I don't know what version of Aaron Rodgers we're going to get this year because he wasn't that good last year. And he only won 9 games and didn't make the playoffs in Green Bay, and that's in the NFC North. So this is a much tougher division. The AFC, as we know, is loaded when it comes to quarterback play and coaching. So it's not going to be an easy path for them, and I'm very curious to see how things go once they hit some adversity, which everyone faces at some point in the season. Mm-hmm. But I would expect them to make the playoffs, yes.
Speaking of adversity, Dak Prescott, adversity, Trey Lance coming down to the Cowboys. Are we going to see Trey Lance start for the Cowboys this season, Joy?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I think the Trey Lance move, so the Trey Lance move is interesting because of Jerry, not because of the move itself. The place that would put him out there to start would have been San Francisco that spent 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick to acquire him. Like, there's no team in the league that wanted him to be the starter more than San Francisco. I mean, they just used so much to get him. That was the case. So he isn't good enough to start. We know that because he didn't start in San Francisco. They'd prefer him to be the starter there, and they traded him. So he's not in a position to be a starter, and Dak Prescott is obviously making all the money and is a good quarterback. I mean, he's proven to be a starting quarterback in this league and has been able to win big games. I think what's interesting about the move is the fact that Jerry went and acquired him without consulting anyone. 100%. Now, that's very Jerry-like.
Very on brand.
Yeah, but he's not ready. So I think maybe next year we can have this conversation, depending on how the Cowboys season ends. But right now, he's just, to me, he's depth. He's a cheap first round, well, what someone thought was a first round talent. And, you know, we've seen the importance of having depth at that position, particularly last year. So I don't think it's in a situation where Dak is going to get, I mean, Cooper Rush has a better chance of starting if Dak struggles than Trey Lance. I mean, we saw him go in and win games last year.
Now, Joy, this has been the summer of young quarterbacks getting paid. I think we're all a little surprised Joe Burrow hasn't signed his big contract yet, and now we're over a month since Justin Herbert signed his. What are your thoughts on this whole situation and how it's being handled?
With Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's curious to me. I've heard some things. Obviously, you know that any time that a team signs a player to guaranteed money, that money has to exist in escrow, meaning it's got to be in the bank account. The cash has to be there. It can't be like, oh yeah, we're worth $400 billion, like in property or in cash. So when you sign someone to a guaranteed contract, you have to show the cash in the account to sign that deal. So now, look, I don't have any pity on any organization crying broke when you have someone like Joe Burrow, when you take him number one overall in the draft and he turns out to be what he is. You know that bill is coming. It's like buying a house and being surprised you got a mortgage payment to fulfill. Like, you're not living here for free. So I think it's weird that they haven't gotten it done yet, because really you can't argue that you didn't know what the market was, because really the market is Deshaun Watson. Now, you can say we're not going to do business like the Cleveland Browns, which I wouldn't advise that you do, but you got to start there. I mean, that's where everyone's going to start. So I don't know why it's not done yet. It's weird to me. Obviously, they both parties decided to keep it quiet, but now that he's dealing with, recovering from this injury, potentially not being healthy enough to be out there at the beginning of the season, does he play anyway? It's becoming very muddy. I can't say that it's contentious because we're not hearing any of that, but I do think it's a bad situation to have him not signed going into this season, and I hope they get it done, because I would not set one toe on that field without
paying my money.
Right. You're listening to Fox Sports Saturday with Alex Curry and Monse Bolanos. We're talking to Joy Taylor, all things NFL. Joy, the Steelers are kind of on a little bit of a hype train. They won their 3 preseason games. I know it's just preseason, but do you think this is going to be a new season for the Steelers behind Kenny Pickett, head coach Tomlin? Like, what are you making of the Steelers' hype?
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was born and raised there, so I'm always going to say nice things about the Steelers. And I am I'm a Mike Tomlin zealot, and so all that aside, this is a really tough division. I think that the AFC North is going to be what we thought the AFC West was going to be last year. We were coming in, oh my God, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and Kansas City, like who else has a chance? And it didn't actually turn out that way. I think that the AFC North this year will be that, with the quarterback play and the coaching that's in this division. What I think is interesting about the Steelers is, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. And while we consider Kenny Pickett to be the last in the division as far as talent goes, because he's still young and hasn't really proven himself at the highest level in the NFL yet. If you pay attention to how his season went last year as a rookie, obviously started out struggling, as rookies sometimes do, but he improved as the season went on. And that, to me, is what's promising about the offensive situation in Pittsburgh. We know the defense is good. We know the defense has a lot of talent. We know Mike Tomlin is going to have them coached up. We know they're going to be prepared. We know they're going to play well. We know that they're going to play tough within the division. But how is Kenny Pickett going to match up to a Joe Burrow, to a Lamar Jackson, to a Deshaun Watson? I think he may surprise people. Everyone's very excited about George Pickens, and I don't think they will win the division, because I'm still obviously putting a lot of respect on the talent of and proven nature of the Bengals and the Ravens, and I expect the Browns to be better with Deshaun Watson with a full off season there. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers are hanging around at the end of the season and end up winning this division. And we know it's a long season. There's a lot that can happen, and it always does. So I think a lot of people are discounting the Steelers because of Kenny Pickett, and he is going to surprise the people here.
I like it. Now, Joy, we are in prediction week. I'm not sure if you saw Nick Wright got a real tattoo of his bold prediction this season that says "Never a Doubt." He got it tattooed on his forearm in honor of the Chiefs going.
That was real?
That was real, girl. That was real. I checked saw Danielle's, his wife's post about it. It is real. He got a real tattoo, "Never a Doubt," in honor of the Chiefs going 20-0 this season.
Wow.
So, Joy, yep, he did. He went there. What is your bold NFL prediction this season? I know. Let it sink in for a moment. Never a doubt.
I saw it in the makeup room. I saw him pull it out, like his arm out.
Yep.
And and I thought it was just like Sharpie or something.
Oh no, that's
wow.
a tattoo. It's a real tattoo.
Okay, well, my bold prediction is that I will not be getting a tattoo of any of my predictions. Yeah, I've been thinking about this because I'm not a huge prediction person.
Okay.
But I have been snipped. So I was really attached to this prediction for most of the offseason. I have since been forced to let go the idea that the Rams are actually going to be more competitive than everyone thinks, but that ain't going to happen.
Same.
Cooper Kupp is coming.
He's injured.
He's injured.
Stafford's not connecting with the young guys. It's
yeah,
there. Writing's on the wall.
I love Sean McVay so much that I
Same.
just want to put respect on them, but there's just too much going on there. What I think is going to be sneaky is the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young. Now, I know that's not like super edgy because he's the number 1 overall pick in the draft, but people had a lot of questions about him coming into the draft, and I think people are forgetting that the Panthers moved up into that space. Mm-hmm. They're not a traditional number 1 overall pick team. So I think they're more talented than people think. I think they're well coached. And if Bryce can have a solid rookie season, that's just a very winnable division. So I think the Panthers may end up surprising people. I'm leaning obviously towards the Saints with Derek Carr being the most proven talent there.
Yep.
But I'll do a soft prediction. I don't even know if it's bold, but
that's good.
I'm sniffing around the Panthers this year. So I'm sniffing around the Panthers, and Nick Wright is getting tattoos with his prediction.
Yep. Yep. What? Same, but different. Joy, thank you so much for joining us. Same. I love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great Labor Day weekend. We're gonna
thank you guys. I'm very, very proud of both of you. I'm very excited.
We love you.
Thanks, Joy.
Show. So if you're listening, go follow both of them. You guys have been doing an excellent job, and I look forward to the rest of the show. So,
Joy, stop it. I'm going to cry. Stop.
It's our ultimate hype
girl.
I know. It's our ultimate hype girl. We love you.
I know. I planned on saying this, and I was like, I'm going to say it, and somebody's going to cry. So I'm going to do it anyway.
Monty's crying. I love you, Joy. Thank you so much.